there in Google. Oh, I just got the green light. Hi there, everyone. This is Jim Goebel, Side Project Live, blah, 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 blah. You guys all know the drill by now. I'm here in, what was this, River Grove, Illinois. It's Elmwood Park area, so just west of Chicago. I collect maps for a hobby, and I had to think about the direction. At a fundraiser, cough is still here, at Club Amore for the Illinois Libertarian Party petition drive. And apologize for this morning's show, technical problems galore, but I'm hoping to have those ironed out. But without much further ado, what we're going to do here is going to talk to some candidates, and if I can get somebody to watch my laptop a little bit later, I might connect to my Google Hangouts on my cell phone, go inside the building so you can see, I'll see what's going on. So, but first and foremost, as I keep coughing, I hate to say it, but cigarette smoke ain't helping much, but we have from Pontiac, Illinois, Sharon Hansen. Let me see if I can...
Are we going to be on?
Oh, we're on right now.
We're live?
We're live.
Oh, I thought this was going to be recorded.
Well, it's going to be both.
Okay.
But we're live on Google Hangouts right now, and
Okay.
I'm going to...
I've heard of Google Hangouts. I've never hung out, though.
Yeah, it's pretty slick, but check out the stuff we can do. We got a whole effects thing we can do with a load.
You make me younger.
Well, I can give... Well, I can give you a crown.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
And the thing I like most... Oh, wait a minute. Let me take that off.
Give me a mustache and a beard.
I don't know how it works with two people on here, but the thing I like most about it is this. Applause.
Oh, we can have a...
It's kind of hard to hear out here because we're outside in the traffic and all that, but the people watching us on Google and on YouTube can hear us. But
okay.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, that concludes this interview. No.
That was easy.
So Sharon, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're running for,
Okay.
that sort of thing. The basics.
I was born in Illinois. I was born in Peoria. Long time ago. How did Star Wars start in a galaxy far, far away or something like that? Something like that. Yeah, so I've been living in Pontiac now since 2006.
Okay.
Although I've been back in Illinois. I've lived all over the country in the course of my life, and then came back to Illinois in 1994, so it's my 20th year back.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So back
folks
home.
like me have never gotten out of the state, no matter how hard they've tried. State like this one. Anyway.
Anyway, so I decided to run for office.
There we go.
Let's see. I'm trying to think how long ago it was. It's been at least a year ago that I decided to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to do it because I didn't like the direction that our government is going.
Now, what office are you running for again?
Oh, U.S. Senate.
U.S. Senate, okay.
Yes. And I don't like what they're doing in our government. And, everybody says, oh, well, everything starts at the local government, but I'm too old to start at the local government. So I said, well, shoot, I'll just see who's coming up for re-election, and I'll run against them. And Dick Durbin was coming up for re-election. I said, well, the last time I remember voting, I don't think anybody was running against him. So I said, that shouldn't be. No, that's just from my memory. That doesn't mean it.
Might not have been in the LP. I think he was running against a guy named Durkin.
Really?
And maybe that was 12 years ago. He's been in Congress. He's been in the Senate so long, I just totally forget about it.
Yeah.
And he had this one commercial on TV that I really, really hated, where it was like, remember when you go to vote for Durbin with a B. And then at the end of the commercial, he had a whole bunch of like kindergarten, first, second graders around him, like, vote for Durbin. And I'm like, oh God, it just made my skin crawl. But I hate the way politicians use kids in their ads.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's smarmy. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the other guy is a Republican, but I think he's a Republican in name only. He does this just as much smarmy stuff as Durbin does.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I hated that ad. But so anyway, running for Senate.
Yes. So, and I've met a lot of wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful people. Libertarians are the most honest, giving people that I've ever met. And some of them are even atheists. And they're still loving, giving people. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I am now.
But you're a kind person though.
Yep.
You're a giving person.
Well, there's a podcast I listened to called The Thinking Atheist, and this guy used to starting in '90 for like 10, 12 years. He was born in a family with two people that have their masters in like religious studies and stuff, and then he went on to do 10 years as the morning host for a Christian radio station in Tulsa. And two things got him. There were two big events in his life that got him to start questioning things. One of them was the death of a Christian musician, Rich Mullins, who created a song called "Our God Is an Awesome God." And then, of course, September 11th happened, and that got him to question even further. And things just kept piling up on top of that. And so, but he goes on. If you listen to him, he's just got like this very cordial, demeanor, and he hasn't said it, but he's of the belief that you could catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar.
That's true.
And I was actually listening to on the way up here one of the podcasts from late last year, one of the episodes. What was it? He was interviewing a guy about a book. I can't remember the guy's name, but the book he wrote was Handbook for Creating Atheists. And they were talking about the different methods, and they're like, if you go around calling people religiotards or Christatards or creatatards, I mean, if you want to end the conversation right away, go ahead and use those words. And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's just not something for that. It's also in a political perspective in that, and I actually related this on my half episode of the show this morning, where the Democrats and the Republicans are they're two opposing teams. It's just like I'm a Cubs fan, and the Democrats and Republicans trading barbs and trash talking and whatever. I'm a Cubs fan, and Cubs fans and St. Louis fans are always trading trash talk back and forth. And while all that's going on, we are not really paying as much attention to the game.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more attention paid to the game than there is, just letting it, being so concerned with downgrading the other people, that we're running against. And that's one thing I find mostly with the Libertarian Party, especially here in Illinois. I couldn't tell you about any other state, maybe possibly Indiana, because we've had a few people from the Indiana LP on the show. But is that there is more of a calm demeanor, I would say. Maybe not calm, more of a friendly demeanor. And at least in the Illinois LP, because that's the only one I really know about.
Yeah.
And and so far, all the candidates that I've met, they've just been great, down to earth people. But we get angry too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that anger is what got you to run. But you need to. But it's in how you express it.
Right.
So you
when I criticize something, I tend to want to do something about it. So.
Yeah.
That's the way I am.
With a history of mental problems that I have, I tend to.
It's okay.
I tend to fly off the handle too easily. Not so much anymore since I've been put on Zoloft and Effexor. But people were scared of me at work because I would just something interrupted my train of thought or interrupted my routine. I would kind of fly off the handle.
Do you have a little ADD maybe?
Yeah.
Because I think I do. I'm easily distracted.
ADD, depression. Two of my kids have it too. But so about. I'm gonna have to get some water or something here, or increase my drink tab, but I'm told we can't take drinks out here. What?
Water?
We'll get some in a little bit. What? So you said when you get angry, you tend to act on it. Is there any one thing in specific, or what pushed you over the edge to get angry enough to run for the Senate? I mean, you said you don't, like the way the state is going, but was there just one thing that just said, as in the movie Network, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore?
Yes. I was very ill a little over a year ago. I had a post-operative infection. Before I got ill, I mean, I was, I was on Facebook and online a lot and reading a lot of stuff, and I noticed a lot of people saying we need to get ordinary people to Washington instead of career politicians. And I said, that's right, but I don't want to do it. And then after when I had this infection, I was in the hospital for a month. I don't remember half of it. I was pretty well out of my head for a while. When I survived that, I mean, I'm a nurse, and I was a nurse for many years, and I knew I really was close to dying. And
I'm sorry, what did you say that you were suffering from again?
Sepsis.
Sepsis. Okay.
Sepsis.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. I was on 5 different kinds of IV antibiotics, if my memory is serving me correctly, because some of my memories were not true. So it's hard to know exactly. I wish I knew, though. There's some things I wish I knew, but so anyway, when I didn't die, I figured. See, and I'm not an atheist. Sorry, but
no worries. We all get along.
But I thought, why didn't I die? I should have, because it was like 10 days before they took me back to surgery and took care of the problem, and so I think it was really close there. So I figured that God had another plan for me. There was something I had not done that I needed to do, and I had no idea what that could be. But there was one thing I was passionate about, and that was the state of our country. And so, and I'm a new grandma.
Oh, cool! Congratulations.
21 months old. I got to visit him this past few days. I'm on my way back, actually. This is on the way home.
Nice.
My daughter and my son-in-law are both very smart, and their little boy is going to be real smart, and I just don't want him to end up a slave to government. And that's the way it looks like it's going to end up.
And you bring up a good point, because, and this is something we reiterate on our show, I've heard the charge, excuse me, for many people.
I had that for a couple of weeks.
Oh, God, I'm getting over a cold. And excuse me. Actually, I'm over the cold. The cough lingers. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
I've heard the charge come from many people that say, "Oh, libertarians only support this or this, that, right, or whatever because they're selfish and they want it for themselves." And I have to keep. And I haven't actually had somebody verbally say this. You know how Facebook is. But it's nice for me to have the right to put whatever I want in my body, to own whatever I want to, or whatever. But it's not about me. I want everybody to have that right.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, if libertarianism is so great, how come it's not been tried in many other countries? And I'm like, you know what?
Well, there's libertarian parties all over the world.
Well, there definitely is, but I don't honestly, and I've been honest about this, I don't know if libertarianism will work or not, because it hasn't been tried on a larger scale. But I do know that what we have now isn't working.
Right.
So worst case scenario, we get libertarians elected, and if it don't work, hey, pass new laws. It's easier to pass laws than it is to repeal them. So let's repeal them and build up from there, But, and with that, so have you done been able to get any signature collecting going, or?
Yes, had a group of guys come down to help me, and they helped me so well that
I heard that they gave you kind of a little you had kind of a little a powwow down at your place down in Pontiac.
Yes, I made lunch for them.
And I wish I could have gone down there. I'm pretty much just up the road from you, about 30 miles, but I'm in Morris.
Oh, Morris. Okay, yeah,
just
that is close.
Straight down to Divide, and then I believe it's Odell and then Pontiac.
Yes.
Yep.
Lunch was good.
Nice.
Yeah, I made a pork loin.
Oh, I don't believe I asked you this, but what is it? I know, but our audience might not. What is it you do down in Pontiac?
Oh.
Get that free plug in.
I operate 3 Roses Bed and Breakfast. It's the only bed and breakfast in Pontiac. Well, there's another place that's opened since then, and they sort of call that a bed and breakfast, but it's not really. But it doesn't fit anything else either.
It's better than a slice of toast.
Yeah, well, it's closest to closer to a bed and breakfast than it is to a hotel.
Okay.
It's an apartment.
Oh, I got you.
You know, so it just, you got to call it something. And so.
If people want to get in touch with you about your bed and breakfast,
they just go online, look for 3 Roses Bed and Breakfast.
Okay, and all the information, phone number, everything's
there.
Okay, and now if people want to know more information about your candidacy, what's the website? And I know you've got a Facebook page.
I've got a Facebook page. I also have a really long website name because I couldn't think of something short.
Well, you know what you can do is go to, I can't remember, but Google's got a website shortener where you can shorten the name. It's goo.gl. You put in your URL there, and then it'll be goo.gl/whatever, and it'll be a lot shorter, so you might want to look at that.
You know, I wondered how that happened, because I've done that. I visited the
Oh, God,
website,
we've been invaded.
Short.
Oh, I'm sorry. We just got off the stage. I'm exhausted.
Oh,
I was wondering how you were doing.
Everybody, once again, by popular demand, Brian Lambrick.
What, they both voted for me?
Oh, and I forgot to mention that we do have the Google Q&A thing open here, so if you got any questions for any of our candidates or whatever, just go right ahead and post them there. I see we've got one viewer. Ka-ching!
Beautiful. I got to go run and grab some other. You're going to have to give a speech in a little bit tonight, but you've got time. Finish your interview and we'll be back.
We're actually getting ready to move on here. We just plugged her business, and you know.
That's his idea, not mine.
That's the whole point of it. It's all about business. We're all about making money. We're all about capitalism and free market.
That's right.
And even if we weren't, hey, this ain't costing us anything. So.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll check in with you guys later.
Hey, do you have any extra extension cords?
I'm looking.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that you had some.
We thought so. Jenny couldn't find them.
Really? Okay. Hey, could you send Chad out here?
Sure, I'll get out here.
Okay, cool. So it's nice to have you, Sharon, and
we'll have to do this again.
Definitely. And I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna try to get on my cell phone and go into the bar at some point, but I'm gonna have to have somebody watch my laptop while I do it.
Oh yeah.
I could probably bring my laptop in there to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I know I can do it. I'm just worried. I could always mute the microphone. Ooh, wow. I'm a guy that's got thoughts. So, thoughts. Don't have very many of them, but when I do have thoughts, watch out.
I didn't hear the word.
Ah, gotcha. So there you go. So
if it sounded like a word I'd never heard of.
Yeah, trust me. If I get off my meds, you'll be hearing a lot of those words that you've never heard before. So.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Sharon, and we'll try to make contact with you again before you leave tonight. And,
okay.
Go from there. So.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to have a little interlude here. We're going to get Chad Grimm out here. He's running for governor for the state of Illinois in the LP, and have to see if I can get somebody to get me some water. I need it for my throat, but sitting out here on this beautiful porch. I'll connect on my cell phone real quick so you can see how much battery do I have. I got enough battery. And if I don't, oh well. I'm going to invite myself. 1 second. That's pretty bizarre. I don't want to invite Jim Gaffigan. What would he have with me? There we go. I'm trying to accept my own invitation. Ah, there we go. Blah, 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 blah. I've read and understood the information above. Proceed. Hey, 2 cameras. I'm here, and I'm here. There. Boom. So we're going to be using technology later on inside the bar. Wow, this is weird. So here's the parking lot where we're at. And if you can see it out there, there's the Club Amore sign. Boom. We got people coming in. And I really should have probably brought my USB camera for my laptop so I could pan around, but oh well, too bad. Be me. Whoa. Wow, that was interesting. Like okay. All right. One here. Just connect from here real quick. Cool. But we're still live on here because we got the laptop up and running, and they're trying to find me some extension cords. Whoa, what the hell was that? Oh. We're a professional operation here. There. So, while we're waiting, we've got a bystander. There. Come on over here, bystander. And no idea who you are.
I'm Chris Michael. I'm the Secretary of State candidate.
Ah, okay. See, I'm meeting people every day. Okay. I just I boned up on the list of candidates this morning, and you know what? It would probably help for me to rotate my laptop so people can see you. There we go.
There you go.
I know we just met. Oh.
All right.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, Chris Michael.
Mm-hmm.
You're running for Secretary of State.
Correct.
And I'm assuming Jesse White's running again.
Yes, for his 5th term.
And all things considered, out of all of the candidates running for the major 2 parties, I tend to have less problem with him than others because he's one of those people who doesn't, when he says something or whatever, he doesn't just stop there and say it. I mean, he goes out and gets his hands dirty in the community. I heard he also played for the Cubs for a short time too, and I'm a Cubs fan. But regardless, so I respect him for getting into the inner city and working with the kids and that, but it doesn't really affect the job. So you're running for Secretary of State. Well, first of all, where in Illinois are you from?
Right now I live in Romeoville, but
Romeoville. I work in Bolingbrook.
Okay. All right.
And I work right off of Crossroads Parkway and Veterans Parkway, kind of in that neighborhood there. There's just right off of, just south of 55 there.
Yeah, there's a lot of shipping, receiving.
Yeah, I work in a. Should I give the name of the company? I don't know. Let's just say it's a major drugstore retail chain warehouse. And I work there putting software on all their computers for their new stores. Hey, is that Freedom Rock Man? Turn it up. Oh. I should rename this show the Non Sequitur. Okay, so you're in Romeoville. Cool. Now what's your home? No. So you're from Romeoville, and so are you employed by somewhere? Or you have your own business? If you have your own business, plug the hell out of it.
Well, I'm self-employed. I climb cell towers.
Oh wow!
I don't need to plug it. Business seems to be okay right now. So, but it's more word of mouth than anything else. You don't seem it's a small field, it seems like, and even smaller workforce.
Like receiving repairing the antennas and replacing light bulbs and stuff like that on the
exactly.
side. Okay. I'm weird because I've got a fear of heights, but you can't keep me away from roller coasters, especially the really tall ones. Go figure. But you get me on a ladder or something that's got like less protection. I'm more more iffy about that sort of thing.
Ladders are probably the sketchiest thing we do. Cell towers are easy. The ladder, getting onto the tower seems to be the hardest.
And I hate the ones that are like attached permanently to the wall that go straight up because I always feel like I'm gonna fall. I like the ones the one you got around the house are kind of like leaning over, and of course my arm is off screen here, so everybody can of course see the angle that I've got my arm at. But yeah, we go off on side trails on this show quite frequently. So, what prompted you to run for Secretary of State?
Honestly, I wanted to run as Senate against Durbin, but I lost out to Sharon Hansen.
Uh-oh.
And that's okay. So she can take that. And the Secretary of State slot was open. I figured it would be a good opportunity to continue learning about the party and about the election process. And so here I am.
All right, once again, I'd like to remind everybody that's watching us on Google Hangouts on air right now or on YouTube that we have the Q&A app open and taking questions from the audience. And there you go. And this will be up later on YouTube. As soon as we stop the Hangout on air, it takes like about 20 minutes, and then it automatically gets uploaded to YouTube. The Google Hangouts on air. This thing is really slick the way it's integrated with everything on Google. Wow, I was showing Sharon Hansen this too, and I'm going to show some more of the special effects I like to play with here. Come on. Oh, there we go. There it is. See, whoa, lights out. See, we got sound effects. We got and cash register. Ooh, doorbell. Como arigato. Okay, and here we go. See, all right, but yeah, we have the Q&A app open again. So what? Fill us in. I mean, everybody in Illinois knows about the Secretary of State. They run what in other states is like the DMV, that sort of thing. What does this? Other than that, what does the Secretary of State in Illinois do?
Secretary of State in Illinois is also the state librarian. Secretary of State is responsible for the Secretary of State's police force. They're responsible for all of the property for the Capitol complex. They are responsible for records and registration and seal, so they take care of things like business, literally a secretary. Yeah, exactly.
So, which kind of brings the question: what are they doing in the Department of Motor Vehicles? They're doing with the driver's license. That just doesn't seem to.
I'm not sure. Illinois seems to be the only state that has driver services under the Secretary of State.
I think in Indiana they have a separate division of motor vehicles out there.
Most states do. I'm not sure why Illinois is different.
And you mentioned the Secretary of State's police, and I have seen the cars, once in a while. You don't see them often. What is that about?
My understanding is they were originally supposed to be investigating for vehicle registration crimes like chop shops and that sort of thing. And now they police the Capitol building and that sort of thing. But beyond that, I couldn't tell you what else.
So they basically that seems like a waste of money.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, I can understand in the government buildings having their own, police or security. I mean, they have the Capitol building in D.C. and the White House has the Secret Service and all that, which is something else I never understood is why the Secret Service, part of the Department of Treasury, is protecting the president. You'd figure it'd be Department of Defense or something, but I digress. But it just seems to me that is not a good fit for the Secretary of State's office. And in reality, those officers could be folded into the state police. The only time anyone ever sees the state police is when they're getting a ticket. So why isn't the state police providing security for the state government facilities?
Yeah, well, the point that I read in a Tribune article from 1990 asking the same questions was saying that even when the Secretary of State's police force is investigating a chop shop, 9 times out of 10 they run into the fact that it's being run by a larger organized criminal entity, and they refer it to some other police force.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not within their scope of dealing. So it just seems like they're doing a bunch of basic research work that could otherwise be done more efficiently at the local level.
Mm-hmm. And really, when you watch the news, especially here in the Chicago area, you really don't see too many stories about it lately. But whenever there's a thing about a chop shop, it's either Cook County Sheriff's Department, City of Chicago, and I think even the ATF, because sometimes there's like firearms violations. That's a total another topic altogether. But it just seems, yeah. I mean, it seems redundant, and it should be just all handed over to the state police.
Yeah, it's an easy way to save money, to reduce that expenditure, sure.
So, do you have any specific ideas or plans for the Secretary of State's office other than use it to make all the residents of Illinois kneel before Zod? Hey, fireworks!
I really like the idea of eliminating the state board of elections.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a whole, it is an entity designed entirely to restrict voter choice.
No.
And make it difficult for third parties to get ballot access.
And if that wasn't the case, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Exactly. But the really upsetting thing is that it costs us $28 million a year to run that. I mean, just dump it as a whole and go to a fee-based system, and you can turn, a $28 million expense into probably a few $1,000s, increase. Louisiana already does it that way. They make every spot on the ballot a fee up to, I think, $500 for the governor's spot.
And it's not without precedent in Illinois, because write-in candidates have to pay a fee, I believe, of $25 if my research serves me correctly.
I don't remember about that, to be honest.
I think I looked it up like a year or two ago. It may have changed, and I may have read things wrong because I have the attention span of a flea. But I believe I had heard that your vote doesn't count on a write-in unless you pay a fee, which throws out the votes for Mickey Mouse and that sort of thing. But
with the write-in candidacy, you specifically have to register with every election, every county clerk. So that the write-in signatures, they know who they're valid for. So you could write a write-in campaign all you want, but unless you submit to the county clerk the specific form saying that you are, because I ran 2 years ago as a write-in.
So you would know more than I do.
It's funny that you mentioned that. You have to submit that silly form, and then once you submit that form, then they'll put the write-in line underneath there. So if you go to a ballot and you see a particular race and there's no slot for a write-in, that means that nobody submitted paperwork. Only if you see that write-in line does that mean that there's actually a write-in candidate who has submitted the proper paperwork and can be voted for.
The whole process seems to be more just as convoluted as getting on as a regular candidate, unless you're one of the two parties.
Exactly. They try and put as many hurdles and roadblocks.
Because let's say I was running for governor as a write-in candidate. I have to submit a form with each of the state's 125 whatever counties.
Every place that you're going to want votes counted for. Yeah.
And what if every one of those demands a fee?
I don't think there's a fee because I don't remember paying anything any times I did it. But
no, I mean, what if
for a single person,
that's
even logically to try and run and submit paperwork to all those different agencies, that's ridiculous.
And even if you don't pay a fee, and then there's the old saying, time is money, money is time. So you're losing out. If you either have to take time off of your 9 to 5 to do it, and you're losing money there. And if you can't do that, then you're losing getting on the ballot everywhere.
Yep. Or it goes beyond that. Maybe you get all the work and you get all the signatures and you submit them to the state, and one of the other big parties decides that they want to contest your signatures, and they go through Cohen a couple of years ago. He submitted all the required signatures, but wasn't there to be able to defend it, and they threw away half of his signatures, and he lost. I mean, it's Illinois' just doesn't want any competition. They've got a stranglehold on the way the establishment is, and they want to keep it that way.
The thing that gets me is that I've heard that it's, for as bad as it is here in Illinois, that it's actually the worst state for ballot access is Oklahoma. And I don't remember what the details were, but it was, I mean, it's bad enough here. I mean, we have to get 10 times the amount of signatures no matter what office you run for.
Pretty much.
And, and then with the whole write-in candidate conundrum, that's the big word for the day, conundrum. It's, if these people that are running for office, are decrying, oh, it's the death of democracy, it's the Koch brothers, George Soros, blah, 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 death of democracy. These people are doing it by not letting people get on the ballot. I mean, I can understand wanting to screen some candidates, You don't want, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we're in the flight path of O'Hare Airport. And there's a big old freaking jet right there. But yeah, I mean, they decry, oh, the death of democracy and the Citizens United and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're creating these onerous ballot access laws that have a harsher effect. And one of the things that pisses me off is, all of these Democrats against the Citizens United decision on the Supreme Court. And I'm like, you need to look at it from the perspective of a third-party candidate. The way it is right now, organizations, celebrities, or whatever can only give X amount of dollars. And if you're a Democrat or a Republican and you've got hundreds and thousands of Hollywood celebrities in your pocket, that adds up to a lot of money. When you're Libertarian, we got what? Drew Carey and Penn Jillette, they can only donate $2,600. And these people have multiple millions that they can donate that I'm sure would want to donate. I mean, where's your democracy? If you're against that. I mean, corporations, and also they're not thinking of this the other way too. If you can restrict the money pumped into a campaign, then you can restrict that for your unions too. And while I'm, probably don't offend you, no fan of unions, they're a group of people too that need to have a voice, and it's all boiled down to the the law of unintended consequences. People don't think this stuff through.
How long have you been doing this show? I don't mean to sidetrack you, but...
Well, we technically started it about 4 years ago, but we've only been doing it live for just a little over a year. We started 4 years ago, and then we took like a 10, 11-month hiatus because I was just getting kind of burned out. But then a friend of ours, a friend of mine told me that her husband was starting up a new radio network out in the Quad Cities area. And I'm like, oh, I used to do a show, and they're like, oh, send us a thing. And that's how it started. And we got, we're not doing it on the network now because they've got some other shows running, but I will upload this later. And, but yeah, that's pretty much how it's been. And so once again, you're running for your Secretary of State, and your name again is
Chris Michael.
Chris Michael, okay. I'm gonna remember this stuff eventually. So it was nice to have you drop by, and I'm going to try to limit my battery usage here for now until we can find some way to plug this, somewhere to plug this. It's not an out here, is it? I never even go to look at it here. I don't see one. You can always ask at the bar. They got something out here. I'm sure they do. That is electric. But one of my previous bosses at the radio station I used to work at for 9 years said, this is radio about radio. So, anyway, it was nice to have you.
You too.
Good luck, and let's hope we can get all the signatures we need. And we need 25,000 minimum to get on the ballot, but they're going to all be challenged. So we got to get 42,000. Means we got to spend all the money we would use for PR on fighting the challenges, which means we have no money left to get our word out. Sorry, that pisses me off. Yeah. Anyway, it was nice to have you, and we'll see you inside in a little while. Hey, could you do me a favor? Could you just get me see if you can get me a glass of water at the bar that I could use it for my throat. Thank you. Okay. Come on in. You still got battery. Okay. How much do we have
It's
left?
all the
Hey, I got an hour of battery remaining.
all the stuff I can get.
Hoping that I can find an electric outlet here somewhere. They said they thought they had some extension cables. I'm sure they got something out here somewhere because they got stuff out here they got to take care of. But any rate, let me see if I remember. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Jack Parker?
That is correct.
Woo!
That is correct.
Score one. And again, I'm going to remind everybody we've got the Q&A app open on the I'm pointing at the screen like everyone else can see the screen. But we got the Q&A app open if anyone's got any questions and answers. Doesn't look like we have a whole lot of people watching right now, but I don't care. You know, this is for us, and it'll be up on YouTube later, and I'll post the link around. and if you have any comments or whatever, you can leave them there, and we'll go around. And if you got something specific for the candidates, we can always forward it on. So that's not a big deal. So at any rate, you are running for office.
State representative in the 37th district. That includes Mokina, Frankfurt, New Lenox, parts of Tinley Park, Walden Park, Lockport, and a little bit of Joliet.
Like the far east side, like the Ingalls Park.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little further east than that, but
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, okay. So obviously you're from that area because
I live
otherwise
in
you couldn't run for it.
Yes.
And so what prompted you to run for that particular office?
My father. The state's trying to the state's really messing around with these teacher pensions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worked hard for about 25 years now. And I don't think he really deserves the treatment the legislature is trying to give him. I've met him. I've met a whole lot of his friends. They're good people. I mean, teachers in general, 10% of anything is bad.
Mm-hmm. But it really comes down, when you look at the whole pension issue, it does come down to the, oh, thank you very much. Thank you. This will be delightful. Refreshing. The thing is, the problem with the pension,
Right.
the pension issue, is that regardless of what office you are in the state of Illinois, the state can't, we can't afford it, but yet this was promised as well. And if you're a libertarian, you know, other than the non-aggression principle, it's also on the foundation of honoring your contracts.
That's true.
So, what would you? Let's say the day that you get elected and you take office. I'm trying to get rid of the negative words and speak in the positive.
I will.
When you get elected, what ideas do you have to propose to take care of the issues?
Well, I think it's going to take a lot longer than maybe the one term, hopefully two.
Yeah, we didn't get to the problem overnight.
Yeah,
so we can't solve it overnight.
We can't solve it overnight, but I think by eliminating, Illinois has a lot of duplicate, redundant departments.
When we were talking with Chris, we got into a discussion about the Secretary of State's police, which seemed to be really, really redundant. And we were talking, and you know, why can't that just be eliminated and all of their duties handed over to the state police?
That's true. Or grow the budget of the state police a little bit, hire on a few more of them.
Yeah, but you get rid of one other force, so you might be spending a little more in another department, but you might be getting rid of a lot more in the other force.
Well, that's true. But like with the gambling in Illinois, we have the Department of the Lotto, the Department of Gambling, and I forget what the name is, but they deal with horse racing.
Yeah.
Now, why can't we just put it all into the Department of the Lotto, hire an extra guy to look after the horses, and save the taxpayer the difference?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but they legalized gambling in like pretty much everywhere in the state now. The bars, the gas stations, or whatever, they got the video slots and that. All of those machines, are those all run by the state, or do you know how that works?
That was my understanding of it, that money went to the state for revenue.
Okay.
But I just gave a speech inside. We have $90,815 million dollars appropriated for the fiscal year ending in June.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a revenue problem. We've got to reduce size of government.
The reason I bring it up is I did a bit of an informal research years back about gambling, and I compared like the odds, let's say at the craps table in a casino versus getting the lowest prize in the Powerball.
I think we talked about this last time I was on.
And the power, you have a 1 in 7 chance of doubling your money at the craps table, and you had like a 1 in 63 chance of getting the lowest prize in the Powerball.
Right.
And I've scoped out a few of the gambling machines in different bars in the area. Well, let's be fair, one, because I don't really go out to bars that often, but maybe twice a year. And on the video slot machines, they have video blackjack, and in most casinos, they used to pay 2 to 1, then 3 to 2. Now they're paying that horrible 6 to 5. On the video slot machines all over the state, they pay 1 to 1.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, anything it proves my opinion. I mean, anything that's run by the state like that, I mean, you're getting screwed because it's about the money for them.
That's true.
And
Mike Madigan, the Republicans, everybody down there is only really in it for themselves, Jim. I mean, they don't want honest, hardworking people like you or my father or myself to have a chance. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like it anyway.
And when it comes to issues like taxes, and I know this is in Illinois, I can only imagine what it's like. In a few weeks, me and the wife are going to be flying the kids with what limited funds we have to Arizona to visit my mom. Mm-hmm. And we're renting a car from the airport. Now, if you're from out of town, you cannot rent a car from anywhere other than the airport.
Right.
And we found a decent deal on a car, like $100 for the 5 or 6 days we'll be out there. The taxes, $100 is what we're paying for the car. The taxes and fees are $90.
Really?
There's a stadium tax, there's a hospitality tax, there's a return fee. I mean, that's obviously with the company.
My favorite are miscellaneous taxes.
Oh God. That's kind of like when a cop arrests you for disorderly conduct. It's a catch-all.
Right.
And so it's like you try to get a good deal on something, and then all of a sudden your bill doubles. So that's one reason why I will never stay at a hotel that has a resort fee.
Right.
Because they do that to increase their position on Hotwire and Expedia and all of that. Then you get to the hotel and you're sacked with a fee, which is every night, the same price you're paying for the room, and it has either stuff that you get for free at the Motel 6 or useless stuff you'll never use, like airplane boarding pass printing and a notary public.
Right.
There's actually a hotel in Las Vegas that is part of your resort fee, gives you free access to a notary public. I'm not making that up. They have if you go to cheapovegas.com, they have a special page about the different hotels and the resort fees and what you get for them. And very, very few of them are actually worth paying. I think the one at the Circus is worth paying if you can stand to stay at the Circus. But you get like 2 free rides in the Adventure Dome or something like that. But once again, we digress a lot in this show, and
it just all comes down to a spending problem, Jim.
Yeah.
I mean, the Office of the Comptroller released a report. They appropriated $90,815 million for the government of the state of Illinois in the fiscal year ending this very June. If you can't run a government off of $90,815 million, you've got a problem. Mm-hmm. You really do. That's enough money. We don't need to be spending any more money to spend. And I am very much against this 5% income tax hike that the governor and Mike Madigan and John Collard, the president of the Senate, are trying to make permanent.
It's only going to be a temporary 5%. Psych! Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Of course, the old saying, you can know how you can tell when a politician is lying. Their lips are moving.
Right.
Yeah. And that's definitely the case in Illinois. I know some. Oh, awesome! Not only are we under the O'Hare flight path, we're next to railroad tracks. Now that seems to be passing. But so you were talking about eliminating redundant departments and folding them up into other. Do you have any other sort of ideas to free up some buckaroonies?
Oh, definitely. I think we really ought to set term limits for the legislature. I don't think it's an impossible idea.
Well, I think we've discussed this before, but the number one problem with Illinois is sitting about 20 miles to the east of us. And we could get rid of that big problem, then I think things would be a lot easier.
Well, I'll tell you though, they're eligible after 8 years of service to get a pension, and after 20 years they're going to retire with 85% of their salary.
Mm-hmm.
And that the last time I looked, that was $63,000 roughly a year.
Wow.
Other state employees have to work 35 years and they'll get 75%.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if we set the term limits, that's eliminating the General Assembly Retirement Fund.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And then that brings up another issue too, and it's one that they talk about on TV, but I don't think anybody's really done a whole lot about. Is the fact that there were politicians in Illinois that are getting 3-4 pensions. They're making more on their pension than they ever did at their job.
No, there are guys working in Springfield that are drawing on pensions already and getting their salary as a legislator.
And they bring it up on TV, once in a while, but I don't think they really dig into it to see how big that problem really is. This is just an opinion. I have nothing to back this up, but I think that if they were really to dig into the problem of the multiple pensions and really dig deep, people in this state would be knocking down the doors of all of the local government offices with torches and pitchforks. I think that is one of the biggest issues in this state right now that is not getting explored nearly as much as it should be.
I agree with you.
And we've discussed a few other ideas that I've had for saving money, like donating the 3 least visited state parks to Nature Conservancy, and then pawning off the 5 most popular ones to the National Park Service.
Right.
And obviously we were just transferring that to another government department, but it gets it off of the state of Illinois payroll.
Right.
And of course, the state I think did authorize the different state parks that they can start charging entrance fees, but I don't know if you've seen the way most of the parks in Illinois are laid out. That is very, very impractical for most of the parks in the state.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if redirecting this money is going to solve the problem, but my idea is we eliminate, reduce, and downsize, funnel that money into the pensions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that'll be enough to stem the tide for a little while,
mm-hmm.
until we can figure out an equitable solution with the teachers,
mm-hmm.
with the retired. That really pisses me off, though, that they're going after people who've been retired
mm-hmm.
5-10 years. Like my friend Albert Quainson, who was an English teacher
mm-hmm.
at Richards High School. He's got to choose now between cost of living adjustments,
mm-hmm.
the dollar isn't worth anything anymore, and healthcare.
Oh, don't get me started on healthcare.
And this guy he didn't retire. He put in 40 years of service.
Mm-hmm.
We're really going to punish him?
Yeah, you see, like I said, it all comes down to the honoring your contracts thing.
Yes.
But the state of Illinois isn't helping by creating taxes and policies that drive jobs and people out of the state.
Yeah.
And raise taxes to make more money. No, you don't. I mean, I was just reading something from, I think it was Reboot Illinois. If you're not with them on Facebook, check them out because they got a lot of interesting stuff.
Right.
That Illinois is, if not the top, one of the top states that people are moving out of.
Oh yeah,
and most of them are going to Indiana and Wisconsin and Iowa, but Indiana's getting the bulk of them, and you can't blame them.
I saw a great sign going out of Chicago. My fiance, it said, "Illinois yet? Move to Indiana."
The thing that always got me is that especially with all of the taxes on cigarettes in Illinois, and I hate smoking. I mean, I suffer from mild asthma, and it does, irritate me because once in a while I get bronchitis and all that. But I believe establishments should make their own rules regarding that. But but it's like I used to work in Moni, and that's in Will County, and there's a Speedway gas station that was at a corner. I can't remember the streets, but the Cook County, Will County border was right there. And they had these huge signs all over the gas station that said, no Cook County taxes on cigarettes. And I've heard that there are like shops like that on the Illinois-Indiana border over there too, the same thing. And I'm like, hey, more power to you, man. I mean,
it'd be a real boost to the economy if restaurants allowed people to smoke, if restaurants were able to allow people to smoke, and I'm drawing a blank on the word here, the inside of the restaurant.
Their establishment.
Yeah, in their establishment. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I had an idea for that a long time ago, and it's like instead of banning it outright, allow the employer to make the choice, let the people that are applying for jobs know up front what the deal is, and then have some sort of in California, if you own a restaurant, you have to have like a sign on your window that shows you the grade of the restaurant, as in reference to the last health inspection. Have a sign on the outside of your restaurant or bar announcing if smoking is permitted or what the thing is. And you know what? I hate to say this, but charge $10 for the sign. Oh, there's cash inflow right there. It's not a huge tax. I'm against taxes, but we got to do something about the situation here in Illinois, sadly. But well, and it's a simple solution, which is why it'll never get implemented.
You've got to look at it proportionally, too.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to if I'm walking down the street, what's coming out of the back of these cars, what's being pumped into the air by the factories. Mm-hmm. You're going to kill me smoking a cigarette walking down the other side of the street. Mm-hmm. You got to have a sense of proportion about it.
Be fair, some people are more sensitive to it than others.
Sure.
I'm very sensitive, but
you don't frequent those restaurants. Then.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know what? And on the rare occasion when you could smoke in bars in Illinois, I would go into a bar. I know full well what I was getting into. I made the choice myself to go in there, and it all also boils down to a property rights issue too. But I mean, there's so many issues regarding that. But how much battery do I got? I'm going to have to find a power source pretty quick here. I have got. Come on, battery. Show me what we got. Oh, I got 34 minutes. And I need to get some more candidates in here too.
Well,
so I'm trying to see if I can't find a power source out here.
I'll go in and hunt for you, Jim.
Yeah, there's got to be something because they got all these security and stuff here. I bet there's one in that little cabinet over there.
Yeah.
Because it looks like there's power coming out the wall.
But if you want to find out more about me, visit facebook.com/Parker with a P for the numeral Illinois. And my website is Illinois.com.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Right. Thanks to meet you again, and hoping to get out to the next Will County LP meeting. Couldn't go to the last one because my daughter had a choir concert that night.
Yeah.
So, all right.
See you.
Who's my next victim? Hey, Jack. Could you see if Chad Grimm is busy? Thanks. Let's see. I cannot find an ultimate power source here pretty quick. My battery's gonna run out. Of course, I could probably move it in to the other room. Anyway, I know I haven't done this here, but let me get out my. Get out my information here. Okay. If you want to give us a call, our Google Voice number, if you want to leave us a voicemail, our Google Voice number is 815-200-4912. Our Twitter handle is @thesideproject2. Our email address is thesideproject2@gmail.com. We have a hashtag TSP Live. And if you want to donate to the show to get us some new equipment and make things run better, you can go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/TSP Live. And there's a side project T-shirt in the Radio Fubar store. It's radiofubar.bigcartel.com, and it's snazzy. So there you go. And let's just see if we got anything coming up on Twitter. I don't think I have the tweet deck on here, do I? Apparently I don't. We'll have to fix that. And once again, we have the Q&A app up on the Google Hangout, and if you have any questions for me or any of the candidates, you can always, join us on Google Hangouts or on the on YouTube. Tweet me or not tweet me. Ask your question, and we'll Oh, no, here we are. We're not locked anymore. Woohoo! All right, let's see. Let's see if we got any tweets here. Probably not, but, gotta look. No messages. All right, so come on in here. Yes, back here. All right.
How's it going?
I wish I could get rid of this damn cough. Got a cold like 3 weeks ago, yet the cough remains.
I've been lucky this year, knock on wood.
Well, whatever this is.
Yeah, well, we'll say it's wood. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know. It's just between us.
Right.
So, this here is Chad Grimm of Grimm's Fairy Tales. No. So, why don't you tell our vast listening and viewing audience, what you do, what you're running for, favorite, pumpkin pie recipe, the usual stuff that everybody gets asked at interviews.
Sure. What do I do? Well, I run businesses pretty much my whole life. For the time I was 19, I got my first keys handed to me for a business, and I started running that. It was at 19. It happened to be a movie theater, but I took that experience and I grew it. And I've ran wholesale distributors. I've ran restaurants, bar restaurants. Currently now I'm running gyms, and our state's in trouble. I spent a little bit of time away from the state, and I lived in.
And you stupidly came back.
And the time I spent away was in California.
Oh God!
And I said, oh my gosh, I don't want to see my home state turn that way. And I thought that the entire time I was out there. But then I returned to Illinois, and I wasn't very politically active at the time when I returned back in probably late 2006. And then I got involved with a couple other people's campaigns. I started to, try to vet candidates and, people to run for different offices. And it's a very hard thing to do because nobody wants to do it. And I thought, well, here I am trying to pitch this idea to people to run for office and to get out there and make a difference. I go, I could focus that energy on running myself. So in 2012, I decided to run for state legislator, which I did.
Okay.
And
what district?
92nd district of Illinois.
And that's
the Peoria
area. Okay.
Greater Peoria area,
Okay.
Central Illinois. For those of you who are unfamiliar, and that was a great experience. I learned a lot because I wasn't going to run as a Republican or a Democrat because I'm not well, how do I say this to...
You have integrity?
That's a good way to say it. I was going to say I'm not a career politician, and I'm not doing this to boost myself, either my ego or my financial I'm not trying to boost any type of finances from this. I'm doing this because I believe that people that serve the government are actually, or serve the people in government are actually supposed to serve the people, not create a ladder for themselves for some type of higher office so that they can make more money down the road. I believe that we are that we are servants of the people, and I really believe that. So I decided to run for state legislator. It was contested in court, and we were pretty much loud about it. And we got thrown off the ballot because of some type of signature irregularities. And and to clear that up, I needed my Democrat opponent needed 500 signatures valid. I needed 1,500. I went out and I got about 18, almost, I want to say 1,900 signatures. Well, one of my petitioners happened to, just to set the record straight, that's the only reason I'm talking about this. What happened was one of my signature gatherers gathered for another candidate for another party in a primary. We thought, well, I read the election law. The way that it said was they can't gather 2 petitions in a primary, meaning if Joe Smith and John Smith are running against each other in a Republican, Democrat, whatever primary, you can't double circulate their petitions. That's why the law's there. But we weren't gathering for a primary. We were gathering for a general election.
Well, we don't have primaries in the Libertarian Party.
No,
because that's not. We don't think that's a proper role for government.
Right. It's not worth it to take $20 million of taxpayer money and put it toward figuring out what our individual party decides who they want to put up to represent their party. And then the other people that are not members of the party can decide who's best. That's the idea. People want to, and I don't want to get off track. Just to wrap up what I was saying. Basically, bottom line, signature irregularities seems really crazy when you talk about it to the average voter. They don't know that these things exist. They don't know that people like us get kicked off ballots every day, and that we are stripped away from being your choice when you go into the ballot box. That's that. It's unfortunate, and what we're doing right now is trying to fight against that. To what you were saying, refresh me. What you saying? Well, no. What you just said. We were talking about. I was talking about ballot signature irregularities, and then you said something, and I was going to go that direction. Well,
I can't remember.
All right. Well, I guess not.
That's why I'm on psychiatric meds, I guess. So yeah, me and I want to think it was Chris. We were talking about the Secretary of State's office and that, and we were talking about how these regulations with the Board of Elections are, all these politicians are screaming like, oh, the Koch brothers are against, we can't let them put the money in because that's against democracy. Oh, Soros, so money, against. Yeah, the rules they set up for elections have more of a direct impact on democracy than the Koch brothers or the Soroses ever could.
Absolutely, and tell me somebody that's barking up that tree that's not either A, donating or B, receiving money from some type of corporation or some type of multi-million-dollar donor. Because the bottom line is, and nobody wants to hear it, but I'm here to tell the truth. It is what it is. Money buys elections. Money buys elections. It's unfortunate. None of us want to believe that, but it is what it is. If you have enough money, you could be Mickey Mouse. If you have the money to win Election A, I don't care what it is, whether it be a city council, state legislator, a congressional district, all the way up through, U.S. Senate, congressional district, U.S. Senate, all the way to governor. You got enough money, you can do it. Look at what we're doing in the state of Illinois right now. My opponents are 2 Democrats. I'm running against 2 Democrats because Bruce Rauner.
Yeah. Well, years back, I remember when George Ryan was running against Glenn Pichard. Okay. Glenn Pichard was a Democrat, and obviously Ryan was the Republican. Sure. George Ryan was for gun control. He was he was for abortion, and he was what was the other issue? Oh, he was for the death penalty. No, he was against the death penalty. And his opponent, Glenn Pashard, the Democrat, held the opposite view on all three of those. The Democrat was more conservative than the Republican.
It's extremely interesting.
In Illinois, I mean, there really is only one party. You know, I mean, you can't.
It's a party of corruption.
Yeah,
and
the party of Chicago, but that's redundant.
It's right. That's redundant. It's a party of complete corruption, and it's time that we as a people get together and say we demand another option, because they are the same. I mean, Bruce Rauner, like that with Rahm Emanuel. He's given to Rahm financially. I'm talking about. Rahm's giving back to him. They're buddies. This is a race that's very interesting because, I have two Democrat opponents, and the Republicans are going to drink the Kool-Aid, and the staunch Republicans, the ones that listen, will listen to their other options, and maybe that's not me. Maybe it's a different person. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be presumptuous and say that I'm for you when I don't know what you're for. What I'm for is for liberty all the time. I'm for people to make their own choices. I'm for complete actual capitalism all the time. I believe that we as a people can decide what works within business, what doesn't work within business. I don't believe we need government regulation to the point. You know what? I'll say government regulation at all, because let's think about it when it comes down to the simplest way that I can put it into words is that we have these regulations so that people don't get hurt. Is it in any, say, I don't know, airline company or fast food service industry or the guy that sells shoes, for that matter, anything? Is it in any of their best interests? If it's a airline company, is it in their best interest for their planes to go to be crashing? No. Nobody's going to fly your airline. You're going to go out of business. Mm-hmm. We can do this ourselves. Fast food. If you're getting poisoned by the things that you're eating,
that brings up a point that I've always been saying. I mean, whenever you hear on the news of like a massive outbreak of salmonella or food poisoning, it's always at a government-inspected restaurant. When was the last time you ever heard of it happening at a church potluck?
Thank you. Yeah, that just seals my point.
And it comes down to it. The inspectors are all on the take. There was an issue. My dad back in the '90s tried to open up a ice cream joint down in Coal City.
Okay.
And which was it? I think he was just over the Grundy County line, and the county health inspector refused to give him a permit because he needed to have a bathroom for every marked parking spot. His parking lot was gravel, so he didn't have marked parking spots. So he did, and it was an old building too. I mean, there was no way he could have retrofitted it. He took it to court. He won, but
he had to do that.
He had to do that.
Shouldn't have to do that.
And I heard there was some talk of making the situation go away.
We should make this state so business friendly that if you want to open up a landscaping business, all you should need is a lawnmower, a shovel, and a way to collect money.
Damn straight.
And that's it. And ideally what we want to see is we want to push toward a movement to where people create more jobs than there are employees. Because at that point, once you have more jobs than there are employees, you have to start competing for employees. And that's when people start making more money. That's where competition exists, and that's what we need to go for. It's all wrong. This state has it backwards. Most of the states in the union have it backwards. They need to we need to give the people the tools by leaving them alone, mm-hmm. and letting them use their knowledge to create jobs, not hinder them. If I want to go cut somebody's lawn and I go say, hey, can I cut your lawn for whatever price I deem fit? Chances are there's going to be, I'm going to have to get a license for this and a license for that and a license for this. You're crippling society.
Well, have you heard over the last several years there have been stories coming out from all over the country where local municipalities are shutting down kids' lemonade stands because they don't have the proper permits. And I'm not making that up. That's been big news over the last several years.
To all of you children out there that have been shut down by selling lemonade, what they're doing is they're taking this issue and they're using the word lemonade, and I know they are using the word lemonade. My advice to you is, while that's tied up in courts, go sell Kool-Aid.
Oh, well, we're starting to run low on battery here. We got 18 minutes left. So, I'm going to see if I can't maybe move. Let's see if we can't. Oh, now it says 9 minutes left. Wow, that was fast. Let's see if we can't move this somewhere where we're closer to a power outlet, because we still got a lot of candidates to interview, and I'm having fun with this guy. So let's see what we got here.
It's great talking to you guys. Hopefully, I come back.
So let's.
If not, I ask for your vote for governor in 2014.
Oh, you might want to mention your website.
You can go find me on Facebook.com/Grimm for Governor, or you can go to GrimmForLiberty.com.
There you go.
Thank
We'll
you.
probably talk again later.
All right.
We are back live. We're going to try to see if we can get some more of the candidates out here and go from there. We just spoke with Chad Grimm, and let me see. We need to speak with Julie Fox next. And hey, could one of you guys see if Julie Fox is available? Awesome. Thank you. So we'll be back with her. And once again, we're going to put my stuff. Boy. Once again, we have the Q&A app open, so if you got any questions for me or any of the candidates, you can always do them there. We're on Google Hangouts. You can all later on tonight. This video will be uploaded to YouTube. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can call us at 815-200-4912. Our Twitter is at the Side Project 2. That's the number 2. Email Side Project. Excuse me, our email is thesideproject2@gmail.com, and our hashtag is hashtag TSP Live. If you want to donate to the show, our website is patreon.com, patreon.com/TSP Live, and we got t-shirts for sale in the Radio Fubar store. That's radiofubar.bigcartel.com. You can also, I'm going to probably upload this later, also the audio only to the Radio Fubar site, so that you can also hear us on the TuneIn Radio app on your smartphone or on the Stitcher. Actually, on TuneIn, you got to search for Radio Fubar. So we wouldn't be on there because we have to upload the show. Well, no, actually, because if we do upload this will get replayed on late Monday night or late Tuesday night. I can't remember which. And then you can always get us, Side Project on the Stitcher on your smartphone. So there we go with that. And let's see here. Got some information. So if you're in the what did I say this was, the River Forest area, come on down to Club Amore. They're going to have an auction for I don't know if they had it. I've been outside all night. An auction for swag to help the Libertarian Party of Illinois, and have they got band plan, they're taking donations, there are petitions here to sign to help get our candidates on the ballot, and good time had by all. So there you go. And hopefully get Julie Fox out here in just a minute so we can talk to her. Once again, I apologize for the show this morning. That I'm just really not having fun with the technical issues, but we're getting all of that stuff worked out, hopefully. See if we got any tweets or emails going. Nothing yet. Let's see if we got an email here. No emails, but there you go. Ooh. Oh, I had a retweet this morning. What is this? Oh, thanks to the guys over at Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks for retweeting my thing about my show. And my brother friended me on Google+, so that's a plus. And there you go. And I don't see anybody coming out just yet. And let's just have some fun with the special effects here, shall we? And I just want to give a shout out to my normal co-host, Lexorn. I believe he's watching a Grand Prix race at the Brickyard today. At least that's what I think his Facebook status said earlier in the day. So he can't be here. And there you go. What was that ding I just heard? Here we go. That's and here we go. Here comes Thomas Hill and Julie Fox. I can't remember exactly what Thomas Hill's with, but you guys want to pull up a chair. I finally found a power outlet, but I had to move all the way over here because we're short on electric cords.
Right on.
But and the screen just went off right at the end of when I was talking to Chad Grimm.
No kidding.
So, and I believe you guys, let's see, I've talked to Sharon Hansen, Chad Grimm, Chris Michaels, Jack Parker, and what's that?
Jonathan Parker. Is it Jonathan Parker?
Jonathan. Why am I thinking his name is Jack?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, but John and Jack.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his nickname.
Just look.
We'll just call him Jack.
Yeah, call him Jack. Are there any other candidates here today, or is that it?
I think you covered them all, didn't you?
I might have to get Lex Green out here too. Oh, by the way, that's Thomas Hill. By the way, you can't see him because of the way that.
Oh, we're being recorded.
Yeah, no, actually, we're live.
Better.
But what happens is that I'm gonna have to get closer to your woman
That's
here.
all good.
All right, cool.
I don't blame you.
All right. So there we go. And I haven't mentioned this in a while, but I want to thank Morris PC Solutions for not only fixing this laptop, but also allowing me to put a flyer up for my podcast up on their little bulletin board. And in fact, as long as we're there, I want to thank the Brood Awakenings Coffee House in Morris for allowing me to put up a flyer. Ron's Pork Shack for the same. And if you're ever in Morris and you want some good barbecue, Ron's Pork Shack. It's on Route 6 on the west side of town. And I put one up at Big R, but they probably removed that because they clear off all of the notices there. It's like Farm and Fleet. Everybody's got like a flyer of some sort or another. There was actually a flyer up there for a business opportunity to run the concession stand at Silver Spring State Park for $60,000, and half I had the cash, I probably would have done it. But, you know, I got a credit rating of 540, so there you go. But, yeah, there we go. As I sit here and look stupid. All right, next we have candidate friend Julie Fox. Howdy.
Hello, Jim.
And the only reason I know that's your name is it's on your button.
Well,
the only reason
maybe that's not the only reason.
the only reason I know my name is because it's on my driver's license.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know I woke up this morning is because I'm here. So.
All right.
So
it's a good day. You're here.
This morning's show
You're
wasn't
here.
so much, but this one is actually running better now, especially since I found the power supply, or the power outlet, I should say, rather. But so, Julie, hi.
Hi, Jim.
And that's it. We'll see you all tomorrow. No. So, Julie, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're running for, and any household hints or whatever. We're desperate.
Well, I'm the only CPA, in fact, the only accountant that's actually running for the top accountant's job in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the third time I've run for this office, and I'm doing it because I believe we have a mess in Illinois and we need to fix it, and we need a qualified candidate, a qualified accountant to do that.
We've been. I was talking to Jonathan Parker. And he was telling me the reason that he was running for his district, what did he say district that was, 53rd? Or I can't remember, but it's like the East Joliet all the way out to like Frankfurt and Orland Park, Tinley Park. And I got his business card at home, but that doesn't do me any good here. But, Thomas has got one. We might even talk to you a little bit about what you do in a little bit, Tom.
That would be the 37th.
The 37th. There was a 3. I got that part right. And we were talking about the issue with the teachers' pensions things, and that he was saying that is the reason he's running, is because that's a whole mess, and the core of the libertarian thought is the non-aggression principle, where it's not the end-all be-all, but everything should be based as much on that as is possible. But on top of that, though, we're also of the belief that you need to honor your contracts, and we've got these contracts. Basically, a pension is a contract with somebody who's worked and earned the money. So we can't just throw it away and say, "Yeah, screw you," especially as people are retiring, and depending on that money. But we were talking that there needs to be more accountability and more stuff needs to be kind of like more programs eliminated and that sort of thing. And we got talking about different things like getting rid of the Secretary of State's police office, which we don't really understand what that's about, and some other things. So the
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
As long as I'm here, I run a podcast out of Morris. That's go to Joliet and then go west on Interstate 80 till the end of the Earth, and then we're 2 miles past the end of the Earth.
Okay. Sounds good.
So yeah, we do libertarian talk, and if I'm not having technical problems, which seems to be par for the course lately. But we're actually doing this live right now on Google Hangouts and YouTube, and this is really slick the way it works in that. But awesome. Remember us when it comes time around election time, and they have a petition inside to get on the ballot. Did you sign that?
I already signed it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
That's why we're here.
Thanks you guys for coming and thanks for your support.
This is the best thing, like for a country. I think this is the only direction we should be going. There really is no other direction.
Well, as I explain to people,
Same
it's
direction we started in.
I'm not 100%. As I explained, I am not certain that libertarianism will work. However, I do know what hasn't worked, and so let's give it a shot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always easier to add more laws than it is to take them away.
Right. Yeah.
So, well, it was good to have you on board, and thanks for your the signature.
We're definitely down for the cause.
Sweet. Spread the word.
Wait, we drove how long? 45 minutes to get here? Yeah, something like that.
Where did you drive from?
Burbank. Burbank, Oakland.
Oh, okay. I drove up from Morris.
Okay, sweet Jesus.
It's an hour and 15-minute drive.
It's a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a haul.
But,
It's like 60 miles.
The cause is worth it, though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. So,
Yo, what's up?
so anyway, we were talking about all of and different ideas and stuff to correct that, and that's the number one issue right now with the state of Illinois. What ideas do you have for that once you get elected? I'm talking in positives here because I'm refusing to talk in negatives anymore, except when it comes to my marriage.
Well, my view on the pension issue is that a contract is a contract, and so we grandfather in those employees who were contracted, and we change the contracts going forward for all new employees so that we honor the contract, but we also make this into something that's more reasonable. So to have more of a 401k type of a retirement package than a pension. So I think that's the direction that we need to go in, and I know there has been some talk about that already, and some move towards that direction, which is a good thing.
No, but it boils really down to the fact that you can't raise taxes and hope that you're going to get more money in, because as we've seen with the state, and I mentioned this in one of my other interviews, if you're not a fan of Reboot Illinois on Facebook, like them. I don't agree with everything, but they do seem to have their finger on what's wrong with the state. And there was a while back an infographic about what states most people are moving from, and Illinois was number one, and most of those people are going over to Indiana. So you can't just raise taxes and hope that the coffers are going to get refilled. You create more revenue by creating more jobs. That's just the way it is.
And you reduce your expense. And that's just the hard reality.
And one thing we were also talking about was in regards to the pension is that something that's been a big issue, but I think they've purposely only scratched the surface on in the state. Our state, local, federal, whatever employees in Illinois getting 2, 3, 4 pensions. And the news does something on it once in a while.
My Republican opponent is in that category.
And the news reports on it once in a while, but as I was telling, I think it was Jonathan Parker again, that if we really knew the width and depth of it, now this is just opinion, I have nothing to back it up, but if we really knew the width and depth of that issue, the citizens of this state would be breaking down the doors of every government offices with torches and pitchforks.
Well, is that information not available to us?
I don't think they want to make it available to us. And that's why we need somebody in the state that's got accounting credentials.
Well, I can certainly, the numbers tell it all. So.
Now, you said you're the only one running that's an accountant.
Yes.
What does that tell you about the other candidates? Or about the state of the state?
It's all about the machine. It's all about the career politicians are perpetuating the situation. I mean, that's what they are. They are, my Democrat and Republican candidate they are part of the problem. They are both career politicians. My Democratic opponent is Sheila Simons, who is Paul Simons' daughter.
Yeah, I recognize that name, and I believe JBT is the Republican, Judy Barr.
Yes, Judy Barr.
Oh,
so
God.
we're talking to career politicians who have known nothing else.
Unbelievable. And they wonder, you know what really astounds me? Because I work in Bullington. Coincidentally, only a mile from where the state Illinois Libertarian Convention is going to be, so I have no excuse to not be there. In fact, was Lupe Diaz here or not?
Pardon?
Lupe's not here?
No, I don't.
I was hoping to get him on. But what was the point I was going to make? Train of thought is boarding at the station. All aboard! What were we talking about? I was going to make a point on something.
You were talking about the state convention in Bolingbrook and that you
right.
travel to Bolingbrook every day for work.
There was something right before that. Screw it. I'm sure it'll come back. But gosh. No. We got somebody in the. Hi, Ken. And we're sitting here with Julie Fox. The whole thing will be up later on YouTube, so you can watch the whole thing later, make your comments or what have you. But
and we got some headlights in the back of us.
Yeah, I know. I purposely set up over there earlier because there was just way too much light in the background. But this is the only electrical outlet I could find. But when you win, what? Tell me what some of your plans, some of your ideas, or whatever you have for reforming the state's finances.
First would be implementing actual accrual accounting methods, what I would call honest accounting methods, where you're actually accounting for things, expenses in the period they incurred, not when you paid for them. Because we play a lot of all sorts of games with their numbers, and one of them we do is because government in the United States, unlike Europe, is on a cash basis. So if you want your expenses to be less, just pay less of your bills that year. And we all know that Illinois plays that game.
Oh, God.
So it's not just a matter of not having the money, it's a matter of it's a matter of manipulating the books.
It's like they're paying off the Visa card with the American Express.
Exactly.
You know? So you're introducing this new account, reforming the way that the accounting is done. What can you say about the transparency of the way the books are in Illinois right now?
I'm sorry, can I steal her real quick for a picture?
Oh, sure, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Oh, I didn't want to bug you.
No, go right ahead. You're nothing if not fluid.
Okay, hold on.
Found an outlet.
I can see that.
I
I hope you're editing.
will edit. Don't worry about it. Probably not get a chance to do it until tomorrow morning if I don't go on a 20-mile bike ride, but I will do it.
I'm just saying before you post everything about.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
So, what was the question? Oh, it was about the transparency. What kind of a statement can you make about the transparency? Take care. Have a good evening. So, what kind of a statement can you make about the state of transparency when it comes to finances in Illinois right now?
There's a need for improvement.
I think you just won the Understatement of the Year award. I should make a trophy for that.
We can and will and work on improving that. Judy Barr was forced to be transparent through the lawsuit, Open the Books, through the Open the Books organization, but she's done that very hesitantly and very limitedly. So this would be a great opportunity to open that transparency up to be real transparency.
And it strikes me as interesting that she is the only statewide Republican holding office right now, and that should tell you something about the state of the political situation here in Illinois, because it's if she's the only Republican, and obviously the Democrats know that they can work with her, and everything that she says is just a soundbite.
Goes back to the machine.
Goes right back. As I told him.
I think it goes back to the point that it really doesn't make any.
Back when George Ryan ran against Glenn Pichard was the Democrat. He was more conservative than George Ryan. I mean, the titles mean nothing in this state. In fact, I have this theory that you could solve, or the biggest problem in Illinois sits 20 miles east of where we are sitting right now. Maybe not even that far, but good luck trying to secede from Illinois. Although I heard that there is a secession movement in Illinois. I have to look that up a little bit more.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they're all over. In fact, I heard that part of southern. There's a great show on the Smithsonian Channel. It's called Aerial America, and they talk about the different states, and they do like flyovers with airplanes and helicopters while they're delivering the history. And they're talking. I don't remember if it was the Oregon episode or if it was the California one. Actually stated that one timing because the day that they were going to secede is when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
How convenient.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, but that's all pie in the sky. We have to work with the hands we're dealt currently, and my wife hates the song because her name is Jennifer, so I sing it to her frequently. But tell me a little bit more about your candidacy and where we're at right now, and have at it.
Well, we're revving up to get past the ballot drive. I mean, our first hurdle is to get on the ballot. So that's what our focus is right now. We've got yard signs, we've got campaign buttons, we've got
how could a guy like me get a Julie Fox button or bumper sticker?
Ask for
campaign manager.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Awesome.
Got the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some.
You have to promise to display them if you're going to get them. These aren't cheap.
Yeah.
There you
gosh,
go.
I've looked into getting stuff for the show, and my business cards are just done on my inkjet printer with the Avery business card stock you get at Walmart. But so, if anybody has any questions or have any want to get in contact with you, or or contact your campaign, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can do that through my website, juliefox2014.com, and they can also do that through our Facebook page, Julie Fox for Illinois Comptroller 2014.
Get this woman on the ballot. She's the only one. I think this all of the races are important. I think this one is the most important because this is the race that is that can affect the entire outcome of the state of Illinois. Oh, you leaving, Lex?
Yeah, we gotta go.
Oh, you got like 5 minutes? Just a minute or two to say something. I was actually going to ask you, how many signatures do we have currently? Do we know what the most current count is?
We have over 20,000 total.
Wow, that's impressive. That's better than what I heard the last total was earlier in the week.
Yeah. That's still not quite halfway to our goal, but it's getting there.
Yeah, it's sad that we have to have such a lofty goal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, it is.
But like I was just telling Julie, we got to deal with the hands we're dealt with currently, and then once we get that done, we can change the system.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Well, I'll see you later, Lex.
I would like to be on your show sometime.
Yeah, I'm still open for it. It's just I got to work out all the technical problems, but for once everything's going smooth here.
Here.
So.
Excuse me for just I got to.
Having a good time tonight. Thanks for everyone who's watching us on Google Plus and viewing us live on YouTube.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, awesome. So,
All right.
you never did tell us any of those household hints that I alluded to earlier. No, I'm just kidding. But, so there we go. And like I said, this is the most important race out of all. And they're all important. But this is the one that will affect the state the most, and you need to get Julie Fox. You need to get everybody we've talked about on the ballot. You especially need to get Julie Fox on the ballot, and get Jonathan Parker on the ballot too, so she has someone to work with. And I think his signature thing is more onerous than the statewide one because he's got a smaller district and he's got to get a very disproportionate number of signatures.
Yes.
So and the important thing about Jonathan Parker is. With his, I should have mentioned this earlier. When you sign the statewide ballot, that he does not get a signature on that.
Correct.
Because
he is separate.
He is separate, and you have to live in his district.
Yes.
So, I encourage everybody to contact Jonathan Parker's website, and if you email him or contact him, message him on Facebook or whatever, and saying that you want to sign his petition, he will make arrangements to get a petition to you. I'm sure any of the candidates here will do the same, but it's important for all of us. It's especially important for him because his requirements are a lot steeper than the party at large. We can go statewide. He can only go in a 6-by-6 mile area to get us 2,500. Maybe it's bigger than that, but it's still.
Yeah, it's a bigger discrepancy.
Yeah.
The discrepancy is probably the least bad at the statewide level, and then it just gets worse from there.
Yeah. We. The statewide requirements are like the toilet, they're like the urinal, but he's in like the big old honking, trough type urinal at Wrigley Field. So,
okay. All right. Well, with that analogy.
I just go wherever my sense of humor takes me, and no regrets except when my wife tells me to shut up.
All right.
So. All right,
well, Jim,
thanks again, Julie.
You. I really
I'm going to try to get in there somehow with my cell phone camera to get on the Hangout so we can see what's going on in there. But we really should try to get Brian out here, but he's performing.
Yeah, it might be a little bit difficult to get him in.
Yeah.
You have to wait till he's done.
Yeah. I started the tab. I can only do it with my credit card, and I got put $20 on there. I've only ordered one drink so far. It's almost 11.
Yeah, you have to work on that.
Hey, Steve, can you sit here for just a minute, just to watch the laptop while I go get a drink and they have snacks?
I think so.
Okay.
I drink Stone Cider.
Are you live? Having some fun here at Club Amore in what did I say the town was? River Park? I can't remember. I know I'm going to get it wrong, and I've been we're on all night. But hey, I live in Grundy County, so cut me some slack. Anyway, so I believe that's all the candidates that we have. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and questions that we've gotten and emails, tweets, and all of that. This will go up on YouTube. I think it takes about a half an hour after I stop the broadcast, and then I will pimp it tomorrow morning because when I get home, I'm going to be so freaking tired. I got to drive an hour and 15 minutes to get home, and there's still that traffic back up at Interstate 55 and the Des Plaines River, will take me even longer. But oh, and by the way, I've only had 2 drinks, and I don't know how I'm going to fill up my $20 tab. Oh boy. So I guess I could buy somebody a drink, but so there you go. And once again, thank you for joining us. Once again, the contact information, if you want to leave us a voicemail, our phone number is 815-200-4912. Our Twitter handle is @thesideproject2. Our email address is thesideproject2@gmail.com. Our hashtag is #TSPLive. For our normal show, this is a special one here, but for our normal show, you can go listen to our archives at tsplive.com. That's our main site. We're in the iTunes store, so you can look for the Side Project Live there. Air on radiofubar.com every morning. We always do it here on Google Hangouts too, but sadly the URL keeps changing. So if you just friend Side Project Live on Google Plus, we send it out there, and then I put it on Facebook. You can get Radio Fubar on your TuneIn Radio app on your smartphone, tablet, or device. Search for Radio Fubar. You'll get us and all the other great shows, like the Mr. Producer Show. That's 4 Hours of Power, Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks, all those great shows. And you can get us on your Stitcher app on your smartphone. Now, the Side Project T-shirt is back in the Radio Fubar store, so go to radiofubar.bigcartel.com, and we are there along with the Mr. Producer, Uniformed Opinions, Full of Dicks T-shirts. And if you want to donate any money to help keep this show going, maybe get us some better equipment, you can contact us at patreon.com/TSPLive. That's patreon.com/TSPLive.
I have one almost exactly like this.
So once again, if you're
in the charred griller
in the Elmwood Park, River Park area, whatever, I can't remember. Come out to Club Amore. We got bands going. We've got an auction. And we're taking signatures to get the LP candidates on. And there you go. So once again, normally from Morris, Illinois, but today from somewhere up in the Chicago area, this is Jim Goebel. And my co-host isn't with me. He wasn't with the show because he's busy watching a race at the Brickyard down in Indianapolis. Lex Zorn, and that's it. See you later. End the broadcast.